How's it going, everyone? Um, my name is Yappa, Yapstick, you know, call me with whatever you like. Yapstick, Yappa, you know what I mean? And today I'm gonna just be sharing a little bit about myself, about my, um, well, I'm gonna be talking about Santa Muerte, right? But I'm gonna be sharing my experiences with her, my journey with her, my path, and just who she is to me, who my relationship with her, you know what I mean? Who she is to me, who I came to know her as. And um, you know, sorry, I had to make sure it wasn't muted. So yeah, so I first came to know Santa Muerte about 5 years ago, right? 5 years ago when I was I was about 18, about to have my first kid. Um, I was in the streets, and I started doing voodoo, right? Because I was getting into a lot of stuff, man. I was getting into it with a lot of people. I was doing a lot of shit out there. Doing dumb shit, right? Dumb shit. Um, and man, like I knew I needed extra protection. I knew I needed some sort of protection, right? So I started doing voodoo, and not started doing voodoo, but I would go and buy these little kits that it basically inside of it already was all the spell, right? And all I had to do was basically seal the thing and bury it, and it was active, right? And I did one for keep police away. I did another one for protection, right? Protection of me and my home and my family. And it was some things that you'd bury in the yard, but that's not, I came to understand like that wasn't for me because it was a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? It was a whole bunch of stuff that it wasn't for me, right? And so I I would go to the Botanicas, right? And I would always see the statue of Santa Muerte. And I remember at the very beginning, like before I even considered praying to her, it freaked me out, bro. It freaked me the fuck out. It scared me, man. And I always thought like, nah, like I'm not gonna do that like that. I'm not gonna go that I'm not gonna get that far into it, right? Like I never thought I was gonna get deep into none of this, right? And she was calling me, you know what I mean? She started calling me. She started being like, hey, like I would be at the Botanicas getting what I needed for me, getting the good luck or like a money drawing thing or like, stuff like that. And or like I said, for the protection, right? And she would always be like, hey, like Yapa, boom, you know what I mean? Should be there, a statue of her. They had like a big, like 5 foot statue of her, right? And I remember like I used to always try to avoid going that way. But it would interest me. I remember sometimes every now and then I would go walk by it and look and actually look at everything and be like, man, like, but I would still like get a little creeped out from it and I wouldn't wanna I like go get whatever else I needed to get, right? And it after a while, like it started getting to the point where I felt her so much reaching out to me that I called my homeboy that I knew he prayed to Santa Muerte. I called him up and I was like, hey bro, like like asking him all these questions, like, hey, like, this is this. He was like, man, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I don't know the most about it. I just pray to her and stuff. But he was like, but look, like, my tia, she could really tell you. She could answer all your questions. She could tell you whatever you need to know, right? He was like, let me talk to her and see when you can come see her. I was like, all right, bet, boom. Later that night, he calls me back and he's like, hey, bro, like. My tia said you need to come now, come over ASAP, right? He was like, Santa said that she loves you, man. She loves you, and that she knows who you are, and that you're her son, and that like she knows you already. And like freaked me out, bro. It like scared me. I remember it low key scared me because I was like, man, like me, like she knows who I am. What? Like, you know what I mean? And it's death personified, right? So it made me nervous. It scared me because I didn't understand then. I didn't understand. You know what I mean? I wasn't I didn't know. You know what I mean? But that night I went to go and I talked to her, right? And bro, like it was so crazy because it's still even to this day, even though I know what I know now, it's still to this day, it makes me like, damn, like that's so crazy. Like she knew shit, bro, that no one ever would have fucking known. She knew shit, bro, that no one would have ever known about me. And it blew my mind, you know what I mean? And still, I was like, not skeptical, but one reason I didn't want to commit or devote myself was because once you're in it for life. You know what I mean? It's a lifelong commitment. And not like, oh, once you're in it for life and your life's gonna be fucked up and whatever. No, because at least in my experience, when I walked away, yeah, she punished me, but she didn't like completely wreck my life. You know? She didn't. And I know maybe some people's experiences is that, but my experience is not, you know? I don't And I try not to put a lot of negativity out into the world because I try not to bring as much, I try not to have it come back to me, you know? Because what you put out into the world is what comes back to you, you know what I mean? You attract what you put out. And, it's true. It's very true. But I didn't understand at that time, right? It's like scared me because I just didn't know. And I remember by the end of it, she was like, look, like, like you don't have to commit yourself yet. You don't have to say you're gonna pray to her yet. But she gave me a little red, small, like something with the like keychain, not like a keychain, but it was like a little plastic something thing. It pretty much looked like cause I have a keychain. It looks like my keychain, but it was a little red something with the thing, right? Like I remember she was like, keep it on you for protection. Keep it on you for protection. So I kept it on me, right? She was like, you could smoke weed with her, you could smoke cigarettes with her, you can give her some water, you can give her flowers, you can give her money, give her a dollar every now and then, give her just little things, you know what I mean? And she'll continue to protect you, you know what I mean? She's like, you can give her just little things here and there. And, you know, I would, I would. I was like, man, like I have her, why not? I started after a little bit. I didn't offer it. Well, I did. I ain't gonna lie. I did offer it because I was like, man, like I don't want it to be disrespectful, so I want to give her things at least to keep respect, right? And so, oh yeah, so she told me she was like, look, this I forgot this. She told me if you don't want this no more, give it back to me, okay? She's like, if you don't want this no more, give it back to me. But just call me and be like, hey, like I don't think this is for me. And okay, I'll get it back from you. Boom. And that's it. And I was like, all right, bet. But I never give it back. I kept it. I kept it. I don't have it anymore. I ended up keeping it after that, and I would smoke my blunts with her. I smoke my cigarettes with her. Give her a dollar every now and then. Keep a water for her. I would do that, and I didn't necessarily have like an altar for her, but I would like set her up and give her something, and then like I keep her with me majority of the time in my pocket or whatever. Yeah, so I didn't have an altar at that time, right? But I would still give her offerings, and you know, I got to a point where I would start asking, to keep me safe, protection, keep my family safe, and just help me not get arrested. And really she would, bro. She would so much. She would. It was crazy because like there was this time I had got into a shootout, and pretty much, bro, like nothing happened to me, nothing happened to none of my friends. It was me and a couple of my homeboys that were there, and it was like, bro, like a shield. Like I seen the bullets like picking up the dirt whenever they're hitting the ground and like all this shit. You know what I mean? Like it was like literally we had a shield on us. Like it's like that's what it was like almost, because they all boom, 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 like right there in front of us at the ground. Maybe it could have been, hey, they weren't shooting at us at all. They could have been just trying to shoot at the ground. I don't know. But bro, I felt, and that in my eyes, that was her protecting me. That was her protecting us. And after that, like pretty soon after that, man, I was like, I can't not like devote myself to this. I can't not commit to this. You know what I mean? Because she was just already doing so much for me. And now I know, bro, like if she calls you, bro, you're called. She knows you from before you're born. Like, you know what I mean? She knows you, who you are, and she knows what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, from if she calls you, bro, if in some point in your life you feel like she's calling me and I need to devote myself to her, she's always known who you are, bro, and she's always been keeping you safe. You like for the most part, if she calls you, bro, you've always gotten in situations where it's like, man, that could have been so much worse. That could have been so much worse. Everything that you've been through in life, you always wonder, is like, shit could have been so much worse than what it was. You know what I mean? And also, another way, is you're always getting caught up for shit. You know what I mean? You're one of those people that you're in school, everybody in class is talking, and you start talking, and the teacher sees you, and they're like, oh, uh, what's it called? You Yappa, you're talking in the back, and you're like, but like I'm not the only one talking. You know what I mean? Everyone else is talking. And you're calling on me, like shit like that. You know what I mean? That's also another way where damn, like you know, I have a calling on my life. Like there's something special. You know what I mean? If it's your life, bro, if it's you that she has a calling on, it's because of her, right? If you got a calling on your life, period, it's gonna be like that for you, usually, right? But some people are called by different things, right? But if you know you're called by Santa Muerte, it's because her, bro, because her. She got something better from you. You're not supposed to be like everybody else. You're not supposed to be doing the shit that everyone else is doing. And that's ways of her being like, hey, snap out that shit. Act right. You know what I mean? That's her way of like being like, hey, like, fuck what everyone else is doing. You got better in store. You supposed to be different. You're not supposed to be like these kids. You're not supposed to be like these people. You're not supposed to be like your coworkers. You know what I mean? That's another way, because she's gonna. It's like you know what I mean. Why would they only call you out that situation? Or why are you the only one that's not getting fucked up like everyone else? You know what I mean? Always some way. There's always some way that you end up making it. You don't know how, but there's always some way. Always some way comes through. It's because that's always her, bro. She's always providing. She's always protecting. She's always watching out for you, even before you come to her, even before you come to know who she is. You know what I mean? Because she takes care of her kids, bro. She takes care of her kids. You know what I mean? She's always got your best interest in her heart. So no matter what, bro, no matter what's going on, she's always gonna protect you. But there's always gonna be the times where she's like, "Hey, snap out that shit." You know what I mean? You just gotta look for it. You gotta look in these different situations, and be like, "All right," like you know what I mean? Like, you right, and it's a hard thing sometimes. You know what I mean? Because when she has to sit us down, that could be you get locked up for some shit, or like this happens, whatever, you know what I mean? And it might not be good. Sometimes you might like end up in the hospital or in jail or some shit. You know what I mean? But that's her being like, bro, like I'm saving you now from something that could be so much worse. I'm stopping you right fucking now for something that could have been so much worse. You better wake your ass up before it's too late. You know what I mean? And you better fucking listen. Because if you don't, she's gonna step back and be like, hey, do what you're gonna do then. Do it your way and see how it works out. And it's not gonna work out, bro. It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. Maybe you might think it works out. Maybe you might think at first, oh, that shit, see, I can do it. No, you can't, bro. Because you're gonna end up falling flat on your ass. I promise you. There's always gonna be something along the way that is gonna set you back. That's why it's best to just stay in her will, bro. Talk constantly talk to Santa Muerte every single day, bro. Every single day. Talk to her as much as you can. It don't take nothing but in your head. Good morning, Santa Muerte. Thank you. Thank you for waking me up today. When you wake up in the morning. Good night, Santa Muerte. Thank you for protecting me throughout the day. Thank you for providing for me. Good night. You know what I mean? Something happens. Oh, Santa Muerte. Um, such and such did this, and it really pissed me off. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do about it. She gonna tell you, I got you. Let me handle it. You know what I mean? There's gonna be certain things that you're gonna ask her for that you're gonna have to step back sometimes and let her do what she does. Just you're gonna still have to take practical action in what you do every day to still stay in line though. You know what I mean? Let's say you're asking her for um you're asking her for money, right? Whatever you're asking her for, if you're asking her for money, you gotta stay in line with the no, I mean you gotta take practical action to stay in line with what she's gonna do for you. Because if you're not gonna do nothing, you're just gonna be like, oh, Santa Muerte, bring me money, right? And you just step back and do nothing and you just wait for it's not gonna come. It's not gonna come. It's gonna be blocked because you're blocking it. You're blocking it. You're doing that. You know what I mean? You're not doing nothing to where nothing's coming in. You know what I mean? You gotta take the steps to where, oh, if you get you get a side job or some shit, you know what I mean? Fucking or you get like anything that like a new like side hustle, you know what I mean, that you're not sure of. You gotta take that step of faith and try that shit and try that shit. You know what I mean? And trust that she's gonna make sure that it works. You know what I mean? But you always gotta talk to her about everything you're gonna do. You always gotta talk to her because you gotta make sure that it's in line with what she wants. Hey, Santa Muerte, woo 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 happened, and I'm feeling like it's a good thing, or I'm feeling like it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's gonna take me away from my family too much. It's gonna, whatever that is just it is not in line with what you plan for your life. You know what I mean? Then she's gonna tell you no, like this is right or no. Just wait, I got something better. You know what I mean? This is just a bump in the road that oh it's like a wild card. You know what I mean? Just sit back and wait. Cause she's gonna tell you, bro. She what you want, she knows what you want already. You know what I mean? And she's gonna pretty much she's gonna line it up the way that's it's gonna work out best for you. And sometimes you might have to do some shit that you don't want to do at first for a little bit. It might just have to be like that, you know what I mean? It's like that for everybody. But she's always gonna make it work out for you in the end, you know? So let me get back on track, right? Let me get back to my story. After after that shootout, I ended up saying yes. Like I'm committing myself to this. And fast forward a couple years, I step away. I do end up stepping away. And you know, it's not that it's like I still have my altar. I still see her, I still ask her for things, but the thing was I was neglecting her on my part. And that's why I say, and I did get to a point where I completely stopped praying to her. I didn't have none of my altar. I didn't have my statues or none of that. Right? But at this point, right, didn't I was just not doing my part. And she was still helping me for the most part, you know? But I started getting pulled over, right? Like at least like once a week for about maybe 2 months, like a month to 2 months, right? I started getting pulled over every single week because she was just like, "Hey, like, hello, like, look, like this is gonna like bad shit's gonna keep happening if you think you're gonna be able to do it without me. If you think that you're too fucked up, too bad of in a situation that you can't get back." You know what I mean? And she was right about that, you know, because she was still really helping me. She was still providing for me. She was still doing for me. You know what I mean? And if I would have just kept my part, kept doing my part, which is taking care of her, giving her offering, um, you know, just things of that nature, praying to her for other than just whenever I need something, then I would have been good. You know what I mean? Even just spending my time with her, talking to her and giving her my time, that would have been good. You know what I mean? But I wasn't even doing that other for them whenever I needed something. And that's why all that started happening. Then it got to a point where I completely just I was like, no, I know I'm fucking up, and right now I'm not gonna be able to do right by her. So I'm gonna step back, right? And I completely stopped praying to her, right? And I never did because it was just such a habit to be talk to her in my head, you know what I mean? But it was never like that, you know what I mean? It was never nothing serious. And I I knew I wasn't gonna do right, you know what I mean? So I stepped away, right? And for the past, I don't know, however many years up until now, yeah, I was like, I would go back to her and I'd step away, and then I'd go back and step away. I did that probably 3 times, 2, 3 times, and then this last time I came back to her, and I, it's different now, it's different than from with those, because I was still like kind of struggling and fucked up, you know what I mean? And I knew like, damn, like I need her in my life, but I wasn't doing right, you know what I mean? And I wasn't being the person I knew she wanted me to be. So that's another reason I was just like ashamed, you know what I mean? I was ashamed, so I kept stepping away. Now she told me it's time to stop playing games. You know what I mean? It's time to stop playing games. It's time to step out and start telling people who I am. And so that's what I'm trying to do now. That's what I'm trying to do now. And that's where I'm at with my relationship with her. Um, I'm trying to learn as much as I can. Uh, I don't do things the traditional way that you're supposed to do things when you pray to Santa Muerte. And also sometimes you might hear me be like Santa Muerteism, right? I only That's not like technically what it's called. It's it's just devotion to Santa Muerte, right? But sometimes I say Santa Muerteism just because it's like, I don't know, referring to it a certain way is sometimes it helps me understand things better, right? Understand things a certain way. And so sometimes I'm gonna say it like that, Santa Muerte. So, but the way I do things and go about things is just the way I feel like she's telling me to. You know, like I have a couple books that I read to see how people do it, and I have I look shit up on the internet and shit, but really I kind of mix a whole bunch of stuff when I'm doing prayers and spells and different stuff like that because I do what I feel like she appreciates. You know what I mean? And to me, the way I do shit, she appreciates the way I do things. You know what I mean? Because it's from the heart. It's sincere. You know what I mean? It's me showing my emotions to her in actions, right? And I feel like she appreciates it better than just if I were to. And I'm sure if I did everything the traditional way, exactly the way it's been done forever, she would be completely happy with that too. You know what I mean? But I feel like for as me and for my relationship with her, my path, my journey that I'm on for my spirituality, she she wants me to do things from the heart, you know? And yeah, sometimes like I look stuff up, I'll use ChatGPT and it'll help me or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like I do stuff like that more for to, help me create my way in my head, right? Create my own way. And I feel like she loves it because it's all me, you know what I mean? It's all me. And, you know, I'm creating a new path. I'm creating a new way. And, you know, it's it's not for no one else but me, you know. Everyone has their path. Everyone has their journey. And this is mine, you know. Yeah. But if you took the time to watch this, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment, man. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you are interested in knowing who Santa Muerte is, or if you yourself you have a relationship with her. You let me know, like in the comments, man. And let's keep it respectful. Please, let's keep it respectful. Uh, if you don't like it, hey, man, that's cool. Whatever, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But keep keep that negativity to yourself, if possible. Whatever. But you know, drop a comment, guys. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, what y'all think, and if y'all got any suggestions on what y'all want me to talk about next video, leave that there below too. You know, um, I'll see y'all next time, man. Appreciate y'all.